Hello, everybody. This is Alan at Alan Talks FinTech. Today, we're going to talk about IRAs and 401ks and a simple strategy you can follow with your investing. All right, let's get started. Obviously, if you can afford to invest in both a 401k and an IRA, you should max out those both. If you can max it out early in the tax year, that's always the best time to do it. That way, you get compounding over the year. But what happens if you can't invest the max? How should you invest? Well, that's what we'll talk about today. All right, let's talk about IRAs first. There are two types, traditional and Roth, and in both cases, you can contribute up to $6,000 a year. That's 2019 numbers. And then if you're 50 years or older, you can add an additional $1,000 a year. Now, the amount that you contribute cannot exceed your earned income. So if you made less than $6,000 a year, then you can't contribute more than what you've earned. This contribution limit does not apply to rollovers. You can roll over any type of amount. And the advantage of IRAs is that you can control the money that's invested and what type of investments the money goes into. Let's first talk about the traditional IRA. If you are not covered by a retirement plan at work, in both cases of being single and married, then your contribution is fully tax deductible. If you are covered by a retirement plan at work, then there are limits to its deductibility. You can always contribute to a traditional IRA if you're over the income limit, but that amount that you contribute may not be tax deductible. At age 70 and a half, you have to start taking out your money. These are called RMDs, required minimum distributions. And then you have to stop contributing after age 70 and a half. And when you take your money out, you pay taxes on the principal and the earnings. Now let's talk about the Roth IRA. Any amount that you put in a Roth IRA is not tax deductible. One of the good things about that is any amount that you put in can be withdrawn at any point because it's already been taxed. The amount that you can invest into an IRA is limited. There are contribution limits. It's a little different than traditional IRAs. If once you reach 59 and a half, you can start taking it out if that Roth IRA has been open for at least 5 years. Now, there are other exemptions prior to the age 59 and a half, and you can easily find those on the internet. One thing that's a little different about Roth IRAs is there's no required minimum distributions, and you can contribute after the age of 70 and a half. And then the money in that Roth IRA can pass down to your heirs tax-free. So 401ks, most companies offer a 401k. Many companies just offer the traditional 401k, but lately companies are starting to add the Roth 401k. The contribution limits in 2019 are $19,000 a year. If you're 50 years or older, you can add another $6,000. And the great thing about 401ks is companies provide matching dollars, usually based on a percentage, and then they specify a max. Usually the matching contributions have a vesting period. Like my company vests 20% per year up to 5 years. So after 5 years, you'd get 100% of the matching. And the matching money goes into pre-tax account. So even though if you're contributing all your money to Roth 401k, the matching amount will go in a traditional 401k. There are some limits on the matching amount, and there's some special issues around highly compensated employees. If you want to know more about that, you could look it up on the IRS website. And then the maximum that you can contribute in 1 year is 100% of your income, or $56,000. Now, one thing that 401ks are sometimes criticized for is that they have limited investment options. The companies that offer the 401k sign up for a plan with some investment company, and those plans sometimes have limited funds that are available. And most companies don't offer a self-directed feature in their 401ks, but there are some that do. My company does. It's called Brokerage Link within Fidelity Investments, and allows you to buy and sell stocks, mutual funds, bonds, ETFs, and things like that. But most companies don't have that. So with 401ks, no matter whether it's a traditional or Roth 401k, you can't withdraw before the age of 59 and a half, or if you're permanently disabled, without penalty. And it also still has the required minimum distributions at the age of 70 and a half. So even with a Roth 401k, you have a RMD, where with a Roth IRA, you do not have a RMD. Now here's some special stuff about the Roth 401k. There's no taxes on the money that you withdraw after the age of 59 and a half if 5 years have passed since your first Roth 401k contribution. You can roll over the Roth 401k into a Roth IRA when you end your employment. There's no income restrictions like there are on a Roth IRA. And then the reason people go either to a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA is there's tax advantages when you're younger and a lower tax bracket. So you're paying taxes on the money that go into these Roth accounts, but you're at a lower tax bracket. And if you're expecting to be in a higher tax bracket in the future, then you're paying less tax on the money that you're putting in. All right, well, here's an investment strategy. If the amount of money that you can invest is not limited, then max out your 401k. And then max out a Roth IRA if you're under the income limit for a Roth IRA. If you're over the income limit, you can max out a traditional IRA and then convert it over to a Roth IRA. I know with Fidelity Investments, they have a page that explains this, and they will help you through that process of doing the conversion. So let's take a look at how much money you can save when you're maxing out. Suppose you're 30 years old and you plan to work till you're 60. And currently you're making $100,000 a year. Company matches 50% on your first 8%. In other words, 4%. And then just to make the calculations easier, we're not going to change the salary. We're not going to change the limits on the contributions. So let's take a look at this. With your employee 401k contribution, so for the first 20 years, and say you're investing $19,000 a year or the maximum, over those 20 years you'd invest $380,000. And we're not talking about rate of return or earnings on or compounding on any of this. This is just the raw money going in. Once you get to 50 years old, you can add another $6,000 a year. So you'd have another 10 years of $25,000. So over those 10 years, you'd have $250,000. And then you'd get the company match over those 30 years of $4,000 a year. Remember, we were assuming we were making $100,000 a year, and the company match was $4,000. So 30 years at $4,000 would give you $120,000 of company match. So if you add all that up over 30 years, you could have put in $750,000, not counting compounding. Let's suppose we also contribute to the Roth IRA for 20 years. So right now the maximum is $6,000, 20 years. would give us $120,000. And then once we reach age 50, for the remaining 10 years, we can contribute another $1,000. So that would be $7,000 total each year. So over those 10 years, you'd have $70,000. So the total for the Roth IRA over 30 years would be $190,000. Now, notice the difference. 30 years of the 401k maxed out, $750. 30 years for the Roth IRA maxed out, $190. So you can see that the 401k allows you to add considerably more, including the company match. Now, if you add both of those up, $940,000 that you can contribute. Now, what do you do if your money is limited? So, the very first thing you should do is put enough money in your company's 401k to get the matching amount. So, if they give you 4%, you would get that additional 4% over the amount that you contribute. Then, if you still have available money to invest, then try to max out your Roth IRA if you're under the income limit. Now, if you're over the income limit of a Roth IRA, you can max out a traditional IRA and then convert it over to a Roth IRA and pay the taxes. Like I said earlier, Fidelity Investments has some good information on this, and they can help you do the conversion. In addition, if you have a health savings account or an HSA, you can add even more money to that. So let's take a look at this. Suppose company matches 50% of your first 8%, so that's 4%. And you make $100,000 a year. Your 8% contribution is $8,000 a year. Company's match would be $4,000. So you'd be contributing $12,000 a year to your 401k. Now, if you could also save the max on the Roth IRA, that's another $6,000 a year. So you'd be up to $18,000 a year. Then, if you had some additional money, you could contribute and max out your 401k, and that would take you up to $29,000 a year. But in this scenario, we were kind of assuming that you couldn't max out everything, so you'd have to figure out how much you can contribute each one of these. But the basic principle is, first, contribute enough to get the matching money, the maximum matching money from your company. Then, if you can contribute more, contribute the max to the Roth IRA, and then if you contribute even more than that, then start to max out your company's 401k. Now, why will we contribute to the Roth IRA before maxing out the 401k? Well, the biggest reason really is because an IRA gives you a lot more flexibility in how you can invest the money. You can invest in stocks, bonds, ETFs, and all kinds of other stuff, mutual funds, and there's a lot more flexibility on it. And then the other advantage of a Roth IRA is you can withdraw the contributions at any point. So that's why people really love Roth IRAs, especially the people who retire early. They can take the money out early from their Roth IRA until they get to 59 and a half, and then they can start taking money out of other types of 401ks and things like that. If you have a health savings account available to you, then you can contribute to that. So here's the basic approach. Contribute to your 401k to get the matching amount in your 401k. So that would be the money that you put in, the money the company puts in. Then max out your Roth IRA or a traditional IRA and convert it over to a Roth. And then if you have additional money after that, max out the remaining part of your 401k. So it's really a simple approach. Anybody can apply. Obviously, if you can max out everything, that'd be the best thing that you can do. But if you can't, first start with your 401k, then your Roth IRA, and then go back to your 401k. Hopefully this gives you some simple guidelines on how to invest your retirement money. If this video has helped you, please click subscribe and also click the like button. Enter your comments below. In the description, I'll put links to my website, my Twitter account, Instagram, Pinterest. Also in the description, I'll put links to some of the websites that I referenced in the slides. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. I'll be back again with more videos. Please subscribe and follow my channel. Thanks.